जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनतिरावनचारी 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 जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतिरावनचारी यमुनतिरावनचारी Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Radha, Krishna Chandra Radha, Krishna Chandra Radhe. Jayo Nitai Gaurango, Jayo Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Jayo Nitai Gaurango. Jayo Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्यष्टोत्तर श्रीवान भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीत्थमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter number 19, text number 17. Atha Urudha Ashruja Mayam Atorudha Shrujan Mayam Atorudha Shrujan Mayam Yoga Mayeshwara Haro Yogamayeshwari Haro Yogamayeshwari Haro Yam Vilokya Praja Trashta Yam Vilokya Praja Trashta Yam Vilokya Praja Trashta Menire Asya Upasamya Mam Menire Sopa Samyamam Menire Syopa Samyamam Menire Syopa Samyamam Atorudha Shrajanmayam Yogamayeshwari Haro Yamidokya Prajatrashta मे निरेस्योपसंयमम् हतोरुधा सृजन्मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यामिलोक्य प्रजात्रस्था मे निरयोस्योपसंयमम् हतोरुधा सृजन्मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यामिलोक्य प्रजात्रस्था मे निरेस्योपसंयमम् अथोरुजा सृजन्मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यामिलोक्य प्रजात्रस्था मे निरोप्य संयमम् योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजास्रष्टा मे निरेस्योपसंयमम् अदोरुदाशुजं माया योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजात्रस्ता मे निरेस्योपसंयमम्. What word meaning? Atha, then, Uratha, in many ways, Ashrucha, he cast, Maya, conjuring tricks, Yoga Maya, Ishware, the Lord of Yoga Maya, Harau, at Hari, Yam, which, Vilokya, after seeing, Prajaha, the people, Trastaha, fearful, Menire, thought, Asya, of this universe, Upasamyamam, the dissolution. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is Lord of Yogamaya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. Translation with the repetition. The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yogamaya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. Purport: the fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotees, is it his devotee who had been converted into a demon, appeared sure enough to bring about the dissolution of the universe. This is the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous moment in the eyes of the inhabitants of the universe. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnuvadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadini Nirvishesha Shunyabadhi Vasha Tathishutarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The chapter, the killing of the demon Hiranyaksha. Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidura. The great fight happening between the demon Hiranyaksha and the Supreme Lord Varahadeva. So here Maitreya Muni say, Athorudha Srijan Mayan. So the demon Hiranyaksha conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead. So Hiranyaksha was the demon. He was having the mystic power. Out of mystic power, using some tricks against the Lord. And Maitreya also telling, Hiranyaksha using his mystic power against the Lord, who is the master of all mystics. So Lord's Leelas are very bewildering. So Yogamayeshwara Harau, the master of all mystic, Harau, the Hari, the Lord. Vyamilokya Prajastrashta, the Mayavi Hiranyaksha applying mystic against the master of the mystic. Prajastrastha Vilokya Yamilokya Prajasta, by seeing Vilokya Prajas, the devotees. Trasta. Devotees are fearful. So, who is the Lord? He also not fearful. And the demon also not fearful. He want to fight. But who are the looking at this fighting? They are fearful. Because how was the fight? Meniresyo pa samyamam. The universe is like a dissolution is very near. Such a great fight is happening between these. Prabhupada writes in a purport, the fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee. So, the fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotees. So, no one able to give the fight to the Supreme Lord. But the Lord is the origin of all the rasas. In previous class we are discussing about there is a 12 rasas. 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. In the spiritual world there is only 5 rasas. which is happening out of the relationship, mean loving relationship with the Lord. Shanta Sakhya, Shanta Sakhya, Madhurya, Vasalya, Dasya. These are the five rasas, primary rasas. These only five rasas allowed in spiritual world, and Supreme Lord live in spiritual world. There is no other seven rasas. So now Lord want to experience other seven rasas, and that rasas happens in the material world. So even Lord want to experience those rasa. So Lord, the devotees want give that pleasure. So that's the reason here say the fighting enjoyment of, there is no fighting in spiritual world, because there is no enviousness in the spiritual world at all. The fighting enjoyment of Supreme Lord with his devotees who had been converted into demon. So the great devotee of the Lord, Jaya and Vijaya, so they converted a demon. So there is Hiranyaksha appears you are enough to bring about the resolution of the universe. So his devotees, the relationship with Lord and his devotees is like this. Devotee is always looking for how to keep Lord is happy, and Lord is always want to keep his devotees happy. This is the exchange of emotions between devotees and his devotees and his their Lord. So Prabhupada, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient. For him there is no anything. He is Atma Rama. But to enjoy his transcendental bliss, he requires the cooperation of his devotees. To enjoy the transcendental bliss, he requires the cooperation of devotees. In Vrindavan, for example, although Lord Krishna is full in himself, he wants the cooperation of his devotees like cowherd boys and the gopis to increase his transcendental bliss. Such pure devotees who can increase the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are certainly most dear to him. Not only does the Supreme Personality of Godhead enjoy the company of his devotees, but because he is unlimited, he wants to increase his devotees unlimitedly. So, the Lord is not okay, he wants the company of devotees for his enjoyment. The Lord is unlimited. He also wants to give the unlimitedly to his devotees also. And that is a mood of the Lord. So Lord say, without the saintly person, for whom I am the only destination, I do not desire to enjoy my transcendental bliss and my supreme opulence. So Lord say, my destination is give pleasure to my devotees. I desire, enjoy my transcendental bliss and my supreme opulence with these devotees. So generally, in the neophyte stage, we always think that okay, all these austerities. So because in Bhagavad Gita is say like yajñārtham karmano, for everything the pleasure of the Lord. You do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Now everything for the pleasure of you do, something you want to do for pleasure of the Lord, then you are suffering. Now in neophyte stage, devotees do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. It may be difficult for the devotee, or it may be tapasya, or undergoing a difficult situations. But those activities actually purifies the devotee, so that one day he will be able to experience the unlimited bliss in association of the Supreme Lord. So this is the understanding when a devotee is practicing devotional services. Not that, okay, I am the devotee of the Lord, I am always suffering, and the Supreme Lord the enjoyer. To make you eligible to have the supreme enjoyment of the Supreme Lord, the requirement, the qualification one to purify. That's the reason all the austerity or the tapasya we are undergoing in the devotional practices. It is actually the purification. Shri Radha Krishna Chandra ki, Shri Nitai Gaurang ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Otherwise, the Lord is always compassionate for his devotees. So, once a devotee is purified completely, and then such a devotee is never look for any enjoyment for his personal. So, Lord says, since my pure devotee give up their homes, wives, children, relatives, riches, and even their lives simply to serve me, without any desire for the material improvement. In this life or in the next, how can I give up such devotees at any time? The Lord say, the devotees are give up everything. Home, wife, children, relatives, richness. Everything for the Lord. And this is a level of sacrifice a pure devotee does. Now, why does? That is the reason understanding the Bhagavatam thoroughly is very important. He not given up simply, because such a devotees developed a ultimate relationship with the Lord. Then all other relationship, any of them is personal, is become a secondary. And his relation with the Supreme Lord is soon becomes primary for him. So, thorough understanding of the Srimad Bhagavatam prepares us, our mindset. So, and these are the austerities for my own benefit, and I'm convinced. When mind is convinced, then one for him to practice devotion service, even though it looks like austerity in the initial stages. For the devotee, pure devotee, there is no austerity at all in their life. In Bhakti Saramrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami discuss about all this, how the different rasas are experienced. And actually there is rasa in 5 primary rasas. So other 7 rasas actually not have very experience. So it is like when these secondary rasas add with the primary rasas, and it is increases the transcendental base. Like here what you are seeing, the Hiranyaksha and the Lord in between, there is a Vira rasa. Out of the 7 rasas, Vira rasa is one of the rasas. And the propensity of heroic power. And devotees can't show the heroic power with the Supreme Lord. Because there is always servantship. In spiritual world, there is servantship. Now, Lord cannot do his Leela, like, okay, you want to experience Veera Rasa. Then in his spiritual world, it is not possible. So then, the devotees takes the form of a demon and come this world to give pleasure to the Lord. Now, when a demon come to this material, when a devotee come as a demon in the material world from the spiritual world, actually those 5 main rasas is not lost. It is covered just. Because those 5 rasas are there, then he cannot experience 7 other rasas. So, he come and gives the pleasure as Veera Rasa, fighting spirit. This was the exchange of service between Supreme Lord and his devotees. So, otherwise, never ever a devotee think that I want to fight with the Supreme. Because one is given up the enviousness towards the Lord and one is ever the love for the Lord. Such person only enter into the spiritual world. So now one should understand, one practice devotion, he come to a platform. Otherwise it's not possible in the material world at all, at any condition. And where Lord himself is telling, okay, my devotees are sitting in my heart. So, my devotees are always satisfied to be engaged in my loving service. My devotees are satisfied simply by serving. Are not interested even in the 4 principles of liberation. There is a reason a devotee is not look for the even liberation. Prahlad Maharaj say, so I don't want liberation, I am happy. Because devotee takes place. See, this is what the understanding, a devotion service gives. This is the uniqueness of Srimad Bhagavatam or devotion service. Otherwise, general understanding of the people is that the moksha is highest. Okay, because so attachment to this material world is the cause of pain. Get out all this attachment. There is no, I am free from the pains. Moksha not says, the moksha is not necessary that, okay, then you get a moksha, you should be enjoying the material, spiritual. Okay, you are free from the pains of the material world. But the devotion service is not only get out of the miseries, also experience the highest bliss by rendering the service to the Supreme Lord. So that is the reason devotees not look for the inner moksha, because serving the Lord, the pleasure what the devotees experiencing Even though so many so-called miseries in the material world, in the case of pure devotees, they are already liberated. But it looks like a pure devotee also looks like some suffering is undergoing. But the pure devotee not experience any material suffering, because the happiness what is the desire, what is deriving from the service of the Lord, it overpowered whatever material pain is undergoing. That's what we see when the pure devotee is serving the Lord. Like Srila Prabhupada is undergoing so many bodily miseries. But Prabhupada is always engaged in the service of the Lord. This is what the Mukta Jivas had. In case of Madhavendra Puri, as an old man is carrying, you're walking all the way from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri to collect some sandal wood. But Madhavendra Puri is not thinking, okay, it's very suffering for me. He thinks it's a bliss for me. So because there is a reason, always a devotee is meditating on how I can serve the Lord, I make him happy. So that is the reason Lord is obligated to his devotees. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam. Sadhunam hridayam tva aham. So I say, my pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. I am always in the heart of my pure devotees. If you see my heart, you can see my pure devotees. If you see the heart of my devotees, I will be residing in their heart. Mad anyate na jananti naham tebhyah managapi. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anything else but them. This is the understanding of a devotee and his Supreme Lord. So, a devotee, that is the reason Lord say, I am under the control of my devotees completely. I not have a freedom. So, these are the very confidential subjects in devotional practice. So, practicing devotion service, that's a great thing. So, I attaining the supreme happiness in association with Lord, simply practicing the devotion services under the guidance of spiritual master. So understanding all this, one should thoroughly understand the Srimad Bhagavatam. How Lord is performed these leelas to give pleasure to his devotees and engaging them in his services so that those devotees will get pleasure. Otherwise, Lord is self-sufficient. You say, the fighting enjoyment of the Lord is with his devotees is converted demon appears severe enough to bring about a dissolution in the universe. The greatness of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, now one side, Lord and his devotees are enjoying. In others, the devotees are fearing by seeing this. So, this all the unique activities only Lord able to do it. So Lord is so powerful. You see, even wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous moment for the eyes of inhabitants of this universe. So here looks like, okay, Hiranyaksha showing his mystic power and devotees feared up. But for Lord is the master of the Yogeshwar, master of all the mystic. Even a just wavering of his little finger is like a demonstration for this universe. So in front of the Lord, Hiranyaksha is nothing. But Lord is doing this fast time with the Lord. So this is the understanding. So we'll continue. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.